What is a dystopia? A dystopia is a post-apocalyptic future. This literature or genre is very important to the reading community because first of all, it's interesting. As a writer, I know to make an interesting book, you have to plunge your characters into unknown situations and make them come out on top. Where better to do this than in a dystopia? You don't know it, it's unknown. Now, there are two types of dystopia. The first one is a related or realistic. This is related to present day or past problems. The second one is unrelated, such as Terminator. We all love Arnold Schwarzenegger's play as T-800, but it is kind of unrealistic. Dystopias have been dating back to 1516. Sir Thomas More was the first to write Utopia, a perfect place. But this directly translated to no place. This irony led to a more realistic option, dystopia, a post-apocalyptic future. I have brought you two narratives today, both realistic, related dystopias, that will display how they really affect us, what messages they send. The first one is WALL-E. WALL-E is a story about a robot. He has been left on Earth by humans with all the other robots to clean up the trash, the mess that the humans had made. Now, the robots, all of them had died out. They had been caught in trash and such. WALL-E is the last alive robot still cleaning the trash. Evie, a robot from the Axiom, a spaceship where all the humans live now, has come down to find life so that humans can come back. WALL-E, in his collection, has a plant. Evie collects the plant and calls the spaceship that brought her here back. She and WALL-E go back to the Axiom and find humans a bit fat after sitting in their floaty chairs for 693 years more than they were supposed to. I think you know the rest, seeing that this story is extremely popular. And we can see that this is about pollution. There's barely any life on this planet, and it's filled with skyscrapers of trash. We can easily decipher this is about pollution, but believe it or not, Andrew Stanton didn't actually need this to happen. He wanted a fun story that people would like for Disney. He realized that he had just produced one of the largest pollution messages the world had ever seen, telling about what was to come and what we can do to stop it. This really shows you the power the author has over the reader's mind, displaying messages without even the reader noticing. The second narrative I brought today is a book made in 1953 called Fahrenheit 451. It is the name of the burning temperature of the book. The main character, Guy Montaigne, he's a fireman, a hero saving people from building and stopping chaos. No, he burns books. In this society, books bring unhappiness according to the media. So he burns books, and it is encouraged, in fact, for them to burn books. Now, he finds books in his house, and instead of burning them, he actually reads them. He later finds out that his society actually oppresses knowledge and individuality by not allowing books. Later, he becomes a rebel, starts reading books and moving around. At the end of the book, the society eventually collapses. Later, a society upon knowledge can start again. Now, this book itself is very interesting. It was made at the time of the Cold War, so that's why it centers around the paranoia produced by the book-reading rebels when they read books. Because you don't know whether the person living next to you reads books or whether you have books in your house. If you do, your house, and the books will be burned to the ground. Now, in the Cold War, this was somewhat the same. There were house searches, finding out whether there was Russians or any signs of Russians in your house. You didn't know whether the person living next to you was Russian. This is a perfect connection towards the Cold War. The second thing this is related to is the Nazi regime and other fascist regimes. This is related to that because in this book they use the media to display that books bring unhappiness. Media is everywhere. There are 3 screens in Guy Montaigne's room alone, and they display only the facts that the media want to show. In the Nazi regime, it was the exact same thing. They only displayed books, info, articles, newspapers that abided by the Nazi regime's Ideas. The third idea, well, inspiration that this is based around, is the burning of the Library of Alexandria. That's why this book is based on the burning of books. What should you do with the info I have told you today? As writers, you should take responsibility of the messages and opinions being sent to readers, making sure they're realistic and they could save the world. The readers have the responsibility of, well, reading, understanding the problem and what might be to come. The writers are taking the action of giving you the info. Now you take the action of saving the world. The author has the power, and so do you. Thank you.